Owning a lot of things can certainly have a large impact in our lives. Like deciding on what we should wear for the day, browsing on our social medias hours and hours, and deciding on what materialistic things that we want to dispose or donate. But the mindset of sentimental reasons comes into mind in just an instant. So in the 21st century, the idea of minimalism is not that very popular because we live in a world where buying a huge amount of materialistic things brings us joy. But in the end, we become overwhelmed by the amount of stuff that we own. And so, the result from owning a lot of stuff is a closet or a drawer, a storage unit or a shelf are the most common storage locations that we store our materialistic things. So the idea of simple living is owning less stuff and giving us more time for our passions, for our friends and families, and for ourselves in general. So shifting from the cluttered life to the minimalist lifestyle is not an easy process, but it is our own choice in doing it, and we should not force it to other people in becoming one, but rather we should just show it to them that we are proud minimalists. Hi, my name is Gabriel Rivero, and here are 3 reasons why being a minimalist at an early age is a good start. First reason is it improves our emotional and physical state. When we start decluttering things that doesn't bring us joy or value in our lives. So I have to admit I I am a reformed messy person. So growing up, I tend to misplace my things anywhere. In the house, in the car, and even in school. So in my beginning of my minimalist lifestyle, I started becoming a minimalist when I watched the Netflix documentary Minimalism that was directed by Matt D'Avella. And this particular Netflix documentary was suggested to me by my brother Ping Rivero. When I watched that, I I really enjoyed it because knowing that having less stuff can certainly have a huge difference. And there are 3 more people who inspired me in becoming one: Joshua Fields Milburn, Ryan Nicodemus, and my brother, as I have mentioned earlier, Ping Rivero. So letting go of the things that you have is a difficult process, but once you have done it, the flow of the momentum goes on while you're living your life. So second reason is a better financial stability or freedom. So I wasn't very good with money growing up because as a teenager I tend to spend like a lot on unnecessary things just for the sake of I want it, not because I need it. So there's a difference between a need or a want. So since I am a minimalist now, I ask myself every time I buy a particular item, do I need it or do I want it? That really stops you from at that point from buying something. In my journey in being a minimalist, in order to save money, I learned from Matt D'Avella that the art of saying no, meaning when for example your friends ask you to hang out on Wednesday night to watch a cinema, go eat anywhere, I immediately said no because it's a week. Well, it's not. The reason is I want to save money, and it's also because it's a school day or a school night. In that art of saying no really limits you from spending your money, and as you get used to the art of saying no, that money that you have saved, you can use that for your future. So the main problem is why teenagers nowadays, or people in general, spend money on unnecessary things is so that they can keep up with the trend. And the worst part is, once there's a new trend, the certain items before the new trend that they bought before loses its value. So the approach to finance with minimalism, it made me realize that, as I've mentioned earlier, I should not spend it on unnecessary things, which is very common sense, because in that way, when I get my college degree, I have a sufficient amount of money when I am about to start when I'm about to start living my own life. Having that sufficient amount of money makes me less dependent on my siblings and my family. And we also know the idea of money doesn't buy us happiness. And I believe that, because once we realize that we're losing money, it becomes the source of pain, frustration, and anger, and we don't want that. So one of the keys in financial freedom for me as a teenager and as a college student is by listing all of my daily expenses and identify which one of them I can subtract from every day and that I usually spend. So the important lesson here is to balance your expenses and save money, because it will benefit you in the future. So the third reason is digital minimalism. So you may ask yourself, what is digital minimalism? So according to research by Matt Diavella, it was indicated that people check their phones around 80 to 300 times a day. And as a teenager in the 21st century, I personally admit that I have been browsing on my I've been browsing on any social media that I have, maybe for a day, or sometimes past maybe 2 days, and that's bad, because those 2 days that I have spent on browsing on social media, I realized that I should have spent that more on being productive. What I meant about digital minimalism, it means either limiting social media usage or not use social media at all, and fixing the organization of the files that you have in your mobile devices, or basically decluttering your phone to avoid stress. So why is this relevant? Because it helps you compare yourself less to others and helps you focus on your time by being productive. So in conclusion, I started being a minimalist in January 2017. So minimalism is not minimalism is not an easy process, and it is your own free will of choice and doing it if you want. But the three reasons that I have told you about minimalism, it has helped me all through in regards of my self-development. So being a minimalist for 3 years has taught me so many lessons, not just about decluttering your materialistic thing, but rather on how to control your life with a balanced and a clutter-free mind. There are a lot of other important points on minimalism. However, you will learn those once you started becoming one. Thank you guys for watching and listening to my speech. I hope you guys find my topic about minimalism interesting. And if you guys are interested in becoming one, I suggest that you should watch Matt Diavella's videos in YouTube. So again, thank you for watching my speech, and have a good day.